rhyming one, getting a lot of front page attention, isn't it?
It is full-scale bailout for Spain now inevitable. That's what The Independent thinks anyway on its front page. They do point out that Spain does have quite a trump card when compared to countries like Greece, Portugal and Ireland. It's so big it can't be allowed to fail, and the Eurozone must do something to prop that economy up. So, as The Guardian puts it on his front page, save our banks or we'll break the euro, says Spain. Now, they say in their editorial that the problem, of course, does lie with the banks. It wasn't the Spanish state that got itself into so much debt. It has the problems that it has now. It was because they bailed out their banks back in 2008, who were desperately short of money. So the editorial says that really the Eurozone has gone for exactly the opposite approach to what they ought to have done on Spain. They've imposed tough austerity measures and public spending cuts on the people while allowing the banks to get off pretty scot-free. You know, they've allowed them to have bad debts. They've excused them. The governors of some banks that collapsed in Spain have left with very large golden pensions and things like that. The Guardian says that in Spain the bankers and the politicians have far too deep ingrained connections which allowed that to happen, whereas it should have been the bankers that suffer. Now, this might actually happen in Spain because as El País puts out on its front page, the anti-corruption squad is investigating the recently nationalised Bankia for fraud and false accounting, which means that some top bankers, including those who have recently left Bankia with golden pensions despite the collapse and nationalisation of the bank, could eventually end up in front of a court for those offences, which would satisfy a lot of people, certainly in Spain.
And you're also looking at something else which you picked out from the Guardian front page. This is a row over press freedom in South Africa.
Yes, this is a law called the Secrecy Bill, which is currently going through the Parliament there in Pretoria, which is set to pass soon, which could, if passed, allow huge amounts of information considered state secrets to be banned from being investigated by journalists, which basically lots of people, the Guardian article quotes famous South African journalists and Nobel Prize winners like Nadine Gordimer, who says the Jacob Zuma government is just trying to cover up the scale of corruption going on within it, and journalists revealing it could now get up to 25 years in jail by the confines of this law. They also say this is a bad thing not only for South Africa but the whole continent, because South Africa has long been the beacon of democracy and free speech on the African continent. So if you're a president in a country like Rwanda, which is being accused of also of suppressing its newspapers, you're going to look at the continent's biggest country and go, well, if Jacob Zuma's government can get away with passing these tough laws that restrict press freedom, why shouldn't I?
Okay, and finally you picked up something quite different. This is sport. Euro 2012, of course, kicks off this weekend. I'm sure you knew that. Awful lot of press coverage of possible dangers for black and ethnic minority fans in Poland and Ukraine. There was a serious note to it too, isn't there?
Yes, as The Independent points out, the governments of Poland and Ukraine are furious that a number of other European governments have told their team's fans who are black or Asian or ethnic minority to be especially careful in those countries because of the amount of racist attacks or far-right groups that there are operating there. Now, is that really true? Is it really a worry? Well, The Independent's correspondent there has been investigating, and I've got to say his conclusions are fairly depressing. He says that football fans there have beaten up Asian fans, that at a recent match of a Polish team against Tel Aviv, they were holding up anti-Semitic banners, that there's been a series of incidents like this. Some Nigerian stallholders were killed recently in Kiev by racist attackers, and other immigrants that he spoke to living in that city said they didn't think there was any point them talking to the police about things that had happened to them because the police themselves were racist and would not take their complaints seriously. So it does seem to be quite worrying for European fans who are travelling there, who are of non-white minorities. They've got some better news about the Euro in the new Spanish version of the Huffington Post, though, which is launched today. One of its top articles on its very first day, that this Euro 2012 has found its Paul the Octopus.
Yay!
And it's an elephant in the Valencia Zoo called Sitter. Now,
Okay.
Sitter the elephant picked a melon with a Polish flag on it, just before a friendly between Greece and Poland, and which Poland did indeed win. So she's become a celebrity, apparently, in Poland and in Spain. So they're going to see now if Sitter the elephant can pick to eat the correct melon for every match during the Euro 2012 Championship.
Do they not realise there is a 50-50 chance that Sitter the elephant may have picked the right melon?
Well, there was a 50-50 chance with Paul, wasn't there? And he still became an international celebrity.
He got more than one right, though, didn't he?
Well, we'll wait and see if Sitter might also be...
you never
what
know.
do you call it? She might have the gift of foresight.
Exactly. We shall see. Sitter in a crystal ball. Excellent. Elena, thanks very much. Elena there with the international newspapers. France 24.